Behavior Bordeaux. My name is Maria Huntoon. I'm your host, and I'm here with my friend today, Michelle Mechem, a realtor with Roost Historic Living. And we're going to talk about real estate for dog-friendly families, people, what they can look for when they have dogs. They want to find a good home for them. But first, let's get to the wine. So we are here today at the Wyld Dock Bar, located in Savannah, right on the marsh, as you can see from behind us, right down the road from Bonaventure Cemetery. It's a very dog-friendly place. We have Sheba here beneath the table right now. And as you may also see in the background, it's very boat-friendly. So if a boat is your mode of transportation, drive on up, hop on by, and it's a wonderful spot for some great food, some delicious drinks, and that's what we're going to talk about here with our wine today. We have a lovely Portuguese Alvarinho, which is a white wine from the Vinho Verde region of Portugal. It has a lot of notes of citrus. Citrus makes it very refreshing for a hot day. Michelle, you've been to Portugal, you said, right?
Yes, I actually walked the Camino, so I did the trail that was called the Senda Litoral, which was up, it literally means the coast. So I walked up the coast of Portugal.
Excellent. But you haven't had an Alvarinho yet.
I have not.
Okay, so we're going to taste this today. What's interesting about this Alvarinho is that it's actually made without CO2. So it's a little more fuller bodied and in texture than a typical Vinho Verde white wine. So cheers, let's give it a try. Oh, that's nice and refreshing, especially for a hot sunny day like we have here today. This is a wine that's going to pair very well with seafood, which is why it's great that we're here at the Wyld Dock Bar today, because they have wonderful seafood right here on the marsh. Also some nice hard cheeses, and any other kind of seafood, scallops, shrimp. They do a great crispy shrimp here, right? So I bet it goes fantastic with that. So Michelle has been a realtor for over 20 years, so she has a lot of experience helping us pick the right homes for you and for your furry friends. So Michelle, tell us a little bit about what you do as a realtor. I know you specialize in historic Savannah and the island in particular. Beautiful, beautiful homes and areas. And what are some of the features that people who are dog families tend to look for the most?
So often people are moving out of a situation where maybe they don't have a yard space. So often, especially if they've been living in an apartment, we have a lot of people who relocate here to Savannah. When they first get here, they might just be in like a short-term vacation rental or rent an apartment, and it really does not work for their animals. So often they come to me and they say, I at least need a little bit of space. I mean, some people want large space. As you can see, we're sitting here by the water. There are homes here that have, docks, and people have boats. So I really kind of talk to them, like, what's important is the dog going with you out on the boat. We want to make sure that's an easy transition where they can go down the dock and easily get on and off the boat.
That's important.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, and then some people also want to be in a very walking-friendly environment because we have many dog-friendly places that people can go, coffee shops, restaurants.
Savannah's very dog-friendly.
Yes, so often people want to be able to walk from their home. They don't want to have to drive and then, be with their dog.
Yeah, that's a wonderful point for sure. I mean, I know I love walking Sheba around Savannah. Even though we live in Fuller, we're down South Savannah all the time.
Yeah.
It's just a beautiful place to walk around.
So I have a question for you, Maria. Because I have so many clients that have dogs, is there some advice that you could give to make the move a little bit easier or even make a space safer for a pet when they're going into a new property?
That's a great question for sure, Michelle, because we deal with a lot. Transitions sometimes are really stressful for our dogs, and we don't realize how stressful they can be. Sometimes we see dogs becoming more reactive or more unsure and fearful just because they're in a new place, they don't know about their new neighborhood, they're not sure of their neighbors or things like that, right? So yeah, there's definitely a few things that we can do. The first is making sure that we are giving the dog time to acclimate to the house a little bit at a time. So a lot of times I say, instead of giving them free reign of the entire house, start with a room or two, like let them get used to that space and the fact that this is a safe space for me. Good things happen for me here. Their favorite things from your previous house, even if you're not going to keep them in the new house, like a dog bed, maybe want to get a new dog bed, but still bring the old one. Things that the dog's used to, they're great. Put it in an area that you want to make their safe space right from the get-go into a new place. So that, you know, when you have guests over, it doesn't mean it's right in the center of everything. They have a little bit of space to press and just kind of acclimate to new people being in your home. Something that's even maybe more of an internal space in the house if possible, like maybe not like a screened-in porch or something like that, because we get a lot of thunderstorms here in Savannah, don't we?
We do, we do.
And so it can be helpful to make a safe space for your dog from your home if you kind of right away make that safe space an internal part of your house. So there's not a lot of screen doors or windows, very large windows that when those storms are happening, can be a little terrifying to your dog, especially in a new space, and especially if they moved somewhere that didn't have as many thunderstorms as we have here in Savannah.
That's a great point.
Sometimes in a new space transitioning, your dog may also just need a little help initially. You know, like how we have our wine. My last episode of Behavior Bordeaux, we talked about calming aids and natural remedies that can just help relax the dog's central nervous system. So check out that video if you want to see that. But those are some things that during the transition process can just help a dog relax into the environment a little bit more, just because it is so stressful, especially packing, unpacking, moving, all of that. It's just a lot for everybody. So that may just help take the edge off it.
That's great. Is there something that people need to be aware of in their yard? Are there plants that are not safe for dogs?
Absolutely.
Keep an eye out for?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good question, because sometimes we don't realize what plants are toxic to dogs and which aren't. So you can go, and I will link it in here. The SPCA has an entire list of plants that are toxic to dogs, but some of the ones especially common around here, sago palms, azaleas, even like the magnolia trees. We don't want the dogs to eat the pods that drop. So making sure that you're going around either not having those items in your yard or keeping your dog from scavenging any of the leaves, any of the seeds, any of the bark that falls off of those plants, the flowers like azalea, hyacinths, even a lot of other bushes that are here in Savannah. And again, I'll link that in. But yes, a lot of them can be toxic to dogs. So you really don't want your dog just out in the yard unattended, especially if they're not used to those plants and they may get a little curious about them and eat them accidentally. And we don't want you to have an emergency vet visit. Those can be very expensive, and we certainly don't want to risk that your dog gets it too much and that's much more serious.
Wow, that's just fantastic information. I had no idea, and we have a lot of azaleas here and hyacinths. So it's something to think about even when you are moving into a home and you want to have your own garden, that you need to have maybe the garden in one space and then the dog safe area to be in another space so they're not worrying about them.
Yeah, or at least make sure that the dog is with you when you're out
in that
there,
area.
Right? So that they're not helping themselves. Because sometimes in yards, the benefit to having a fenced yard is the dog has lots of space to roam and enjoy. But it also means that some people put them out there thinking they're going to entertain themselves, and sometimes the way they do this by digging or chewing on things they shouldn't.
Yes.
And
yes.
we don't want it to become a toxic situation. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for being here with us today at the Wyld and for trying out this wonderful Averino. It's very good. So again,
delicious.
Cheers. Need another sip of it. And thank you for all your real estate expertise. How can people find you if they need help looking for a home, or if they know somebody who just wants a wonderful place in historic Savannah?
Absolutely. So my website is liveinsavannah.com. So you can reach me at Michelle at liveinsavannah.com. I'm also Live in Savannah on Instagram. And Facebook, you can do Michelle Mechem or Historic Living. Either one, you would find me.
Perfect. And you also, Michelle also does a historic happy hour. So be sure to, I'll put the link in there too, be sure to follow along with that, because each episode she goes to a different place around Savannah for happy hour.
Yes.
And we're here at the Wyld because they're so dog friendly, so you might just find Sheba and I in her next episode.
Absolutely.
And again, I'm Maria Huntoon. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Behavior Bordeaux. Stay tuned for our next episode because we have a special treat for you. I'll be coming to you from a whole other country talking about dog culture in these other countries and trying a wine that you've probably never even heard of before, unless you're a super duper wine connoisseur. So stay tuned. Thanks again for watching. Make sure to like and follow us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.